this is Hip Hop Memories, Part 1, when Biggie died. Now, Biggie died March the 9th, 1997. I think it was a year prior to that. It's when Tupac died. When Tupac died, it hurt us. When Biggie died, we went, the black community that is, we went into a moment where time stood still. We were confused. We didn't know what was going on. You know, you have to understand, this is the 90s. And even though Tupac and Biggie and Snoop Dogg, those type of artists were mainstream, hip hop was on the way of being mainstream, but it really was in the black community. So hip hop at that time was all we had. So when losing someone such as Tupac and Biggie, it killed the black community, because those young men were our role models. You know, when Biggie said, you know, I'm gonna stop, you know, smoking Philly blunts and start rolling Dutch Masters, that's what we did. When Biggie said, I'm gonna stop drinking beer and start drinking Moet and Dom Perignon, that's what we did. So to a lot of the young, you know, black kids such as myself, he was, you know, a role model. He was a father figure. He was a brother. He was a friend. Even though I never met him, even though I never knew him, but I knew him through his music. So, yo, I'm not lying. Like, this man, these two men really had the game on lock, to the point when both of them died, things stood still. You know, I was living in the South at that time, in a place called Durham, North Carolina. And I remember, you know, like when he died, how it messed me up. And my girlfriend at the time, she was born and raised from Brooklyn. So therefore, you know, of course, her favorite artist was Biggie. She said, you know, back in the days that she never liked fat men, but that dude she would sleep with. So, you know, it was like it was devastating to us. You know, I was at the lowest point of my life at that time when he died. I was staying in a rooming house with my girlfriend at the time, and in the rooming house there was a crackhead couple. The wife would go out at night and prostitute her body in order to buy crack, and the husband's son would sell his father to crack. It was just crazy. You know, I stayed on this street called Angier Avenue, if I'm not mistaken. And that was like several feet away from, like, if I walked down Angier Avenue and made like a right, I would be right in the heart of these projects called Few Gardens. I got robbed there once. So it was a very traumatizing moment. You know, I was working at this I'll never forget it, this place called Labor Ready, in which, like, I was the only person that wasn't on crack, because Labor Ready was like a job where when you worked that day, at the end of that day, you would get paid. So crackheads loved it. You know, the only thing that I had in my room was a CD player, or what we call back in the days a boombox. Didn't have a TV. I spent most of my time listening to music. At that point in time, I was very creative. You know, I read a lot, as well as I used to draw. So I would draw pictures and stuff. So when Biggie died, and a couple of days later, you know, March the 25th, 1997, when life after death came, you know, I'll never forget it. You know, like I said, my girlfriend at the time was a diehard Biggie fan. So when that album dropped, the double CD dropped, you know, she stood outside in this place called Weller's Village. It was a CD place where you can get CDs at. She stood out in line for like hours just to get that CD. When she brought it home, I looked at the front of the CD player, and it just was so surreal. Like, this CD play, the CD cover, it was just so surreal. Like, this man is dead, you know, so it's like I'm listening to a dead man's music. I play it, and you know, I'm listening to it, and my songs are My Downfall, Somebody's Got to Die, I Love the Dough, 10 Crack Commandments. And a lot of people may sit back and say, well, yo, you know, Biggie was a drug dealer and he resonated with the drug dealer, the streets. Yeah, true indeed. I didn't sell drugs, but he resonated with me because it was all about the struggle. You know, in the very beginning, the first CD that came out, it was Ready to Die, meaning that people think I'm a piece of you know what, and nobody has no faith and belief in me. So I'm ready to die. I'm ready to get this over with. I don't like this life. And you would hear songs like Suicidal Thoughts on the first album, or Everyday Struggle on the first album. But then the second album was more like a resurrection. It was life after death, after I've died, after I get out of poverty and I start to make it. And within that, within breaking it down like that, now you can understand the reason why that CD resonated with me. Because at the end of the day, it was just a young black man trying to make it by any means necessary. Yeah, his method or his way was selling drugs or whatever have you. And then after that, he got out of that. That might have not been my method or my way. But at the end of the day, where we meet face to face is, I'm a black man, young black man at the time, he's a young black man at the time, and both of us want to get out of poverty. So I used to listen to that CD all the time, man, and it helped get me through the pain that I was going through. You know, I don't know if y'all ever experienced like living in like real poverty. You know what I mean? Being in a situation where in a rooming house, it was so dirty in the bathroom, I had to take showers with flip-flops on. You know, I didn't like going into the kitchen because the kitchen was all messed up and dirty. We had roaches and I used to hear little mice run up, like they were in the ceiling, and you could hear them run back and forth. And it was one day, like, it dawned on me, like, what if just the ceiling caved in and a bunch of mice just fell on me while we was asleep? It was at my lowest point, man. And I can honestly say, you know, may he rest in peace, but it took a man having to die and to come out with such great work in order to push and motivate people such as myself. I hate that he had to die, but I just think that if the narrative didn't go that way, it wouldn't have resonated as powerful as it did. As well as Tupac too. You know, and it's just crazy, man. In the 90s, it was, you just knew something was gonna happen, man. I mean, you had this East versus West, where you had to choose which side you're on, whether you're gonna roll with Tupac, being that he's from the West Coast, but really he was born and raised his his younger years in New York as well as in Baltimore, or you were gonna pick Biggie because he's from the East Coast. And of course, I chose Biggie. Now, taking heat, I was a fan of his work, but not more of a fan than, you know, when dealing with Wu-Tang or dealing with Nas, Busta Rhymes. Those were really, like, I was really strong on those, as well as Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul. You know, I was really strong on those rap groups, you know, and single artists. But when it came to Biggie, it was just something special about him. We already knew that he was like, once he was coming up, we already knew that he would be like one of the best MCs on the planet, you know. And when you hear like, this is what really got me through, you know, when you hear like, I Love the Dough, you know, it's a moment in time where you say to yourself, you're like, yo, man, if he can make it, I can make it. You know, here you seeing this dude. I don't know how far y'all go back. You seeing this dude freestyling, and he got the camouflage hat, but it's all green. You know what I'm saying? With the like the army jacket, you know, and he's poor, looking like us. To boom, wearing Versace, Versace suits and everything. You know, and don't get it twisted. I'm not a materialistic person like that, but I'm just saying that shows growth. And that's what we need in life. You know what I'm saying? So my story and what I went through, I can honestly say Biggie Smalls helped me achieve success. And that success at that point in time was getting out of my situation. So in reality, what I'm saying is, you know, Biggie Smalls' music at that time was the theme music to my life. You know, and I'm grateful to have experienced, you know, Biggie while he was alive. You know, and just being in the moment, because it's nothing like, you know, being in that moment. You see, we could tell stories and a person could sit back and envision it. You know, someone that wasn't alive at that time. And they would, you know, envision and be like, wow, man, I wish I was there. But I actually was there. And I can tell you how it affected my life. Just like, it's crazy, but just like when you get older, you'll be able to say, I was there when Pop Smoke died. I was there when Juice WRLD died. I was there when XXXTentacion died and how we felt. So everybody has a story to tell. It doesn't make a difference whether I physically talked to him or he was my friend. Like physically, seeing him every day. No, that doesn't make a difference. What makes a difference is how he touched you. How his music touched you. And I'm telling you how his music touched me. And I've never spoke to that man. I've never even given him a handshake. So, this is my story. Hip Hop Memories Part 2 will be coming soon. Other than that, I want you to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share this video. Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls.